Before you start looking for a truck, find a food truck builder first, because he'll be able to tell you which trucks will or won't work with the equipment you'll need to install. Ask friends or family to see if they have any contacts. You can also ask any other food trucks around you, or just do a Google search for food truck builders near me and go by the reviews. You'll be communicating a lot with the builder, so make sure it's someone you're comfortable talking to and someone who's generally pretty responsive.
Bueller.
Shop around, but don't automatically go for the cheapest truck builder out there. If you have to spend a little more money for a more reputable builder,
Do it!
this is one expense that you don't want to skimp on. A good builder will build everything to code and make sure you pass your final inspection before you start selling. A good builder will also be able to answer all your questions and will deliver a completed truck on time. Whoever you choose, make sure to have a written contract and ensure that the contract holds the truck builder responsible if the truck fails the health department inspection for things like faulty installation, missing parts, and so on. Once you decide on a truck builder and you guys negotiate on a tentative budget, tell him about your menu and give him your equipment list so that he can put together a general blueprint of what your truck layout will be. You should have some input into this process because the builder will mostly be concerned with fitting all the equipment into the truck, whereas you should be focusing on workflow and efficiency. Your truck builder should also be able to tell you which kinds of trucks to buy and which ones to avoid. But don't rely purely on his advice. Study up on your state's laws to see if certain types of trucks, like diesel engine trucks or vintage trucks, have certain restrictions that will make it difficult for you to do business. Once that's all settled, it's time to start looking for your truck.
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
One of the first things to consider is whether you want a gasoline or diesel engine. A gasoline engine is cheaper than diesel, but diesel engines are generally more efficient than gasoline ones. You'll have to do the math to see which one will save you money over the truck's lifespan. Maintenance for gas engines is also cheaper. Gas engines run quieter and the exhaust doesn't smell as much. Gas engines allow your food truck builder to build a direct hookup from your gas tank to your generator. This means you won't need to install a separate gas tank for your generator to pull from, and it also means you won't need to carry around those portable plastic gas containers and manually refill your generator every day. Depending on your state, you may need to pass emissions testing with the diesel engine, but not with a gasoline engine. Diesel engines are stronger, which means better acceleration. If maintained properly, diesel engines will far outlast gas engines. A diesel engine can go for 30 years or rack up over 300,000 miles. A gas engine, on the other hand, usually lasts for maybe 10 to 15 years or 100,000 to 150,000 miles. This is especially important if you're buying a used truck because the odometer will indicate how close the truck is to the end of its life cycle. The difference between a gas-powered truck with 90,000 miles and a diesel-powered truck with 90,000 miles is night and day. The second thing is to choose the type of food truck. Again, check your local laws for any restrictions. The last thing you want to do is buy the truck, do a full build-out, and realize you can't legally sell from it. Most food trucks you see are converted step vans, which start at 14 feet and up. If you don't know what a step van is, just picture any UPS or FedEx truck. There's a sliding door on either side, a driver's side and a passenger seat up front, and a large empty back area that'll house all your cooking equipment. You can extend the truck to fit your needs, but only to a certain extent. You'll have to ask either the truck dealer or your truck builder what maximum length is possible. Note that although maximizing interior space is great for cooking and storage, it is actually much harder to drive, find a parking spot, and your commissary may charge you more for the extra length. New step vans can range from $40,000 to $70,000, while used step vans can be as cheap as a couple $1,000s and can go up to $30,000. Another popular option is a converted van. One of the most popular models is the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. So you might hear a lot of people commonly refer to this type of van as just a Sprinter van. Sprinter vans are a good option if your concept doesn't require much active cooking inside. So anything with drinks or cold food or reheated food would work well. A new van will run you between $35,000 and $45,000, while a used one will go for around $20,000. The third category would be anything that's not a step van or a Sprinter van. So they can be converted trailers, vintage vans, and so on. Because they're not as common, they may help your truck stand out from the crowd. However, the build out and maintenance may be more expensive precisely because they're not as common. Pricing varies wildly based on what you're looking at, so I can't really give you a price range for this category. Many food truck owners buy their trucks used simply because new trucks are much more expensive, and it's actually pretty easy to find lightly used trucks that are in good condition. We bought our own food truck used, and we haven't had any major problems yet. It's a 2010 Ford step van, which used to be a university campus mail truck. So we were pretty confident that it would not have the same problems as a truck that had been driven around in a city or on the open road. If you're set on purchasing a new truck, there isn't really much advice I can give you except general pointers like look out of state if the savings are significant and don't get extended warranty. If you're going to buy used, always get a vehicle history report before any money is exchanged. You don't want to buy a truck that's been stolen or has a lien on it. You can use companies like Carfax.com or AutoCheck.com for a free report. If you buy from a used car dealer, they'll often provide these reports automatically. Anyway, here's where you can go to look for a used truck. Number 1. Used car dealers. This is the option we went with. Do some research to find out what models are going for so that you can effectively haggle when the time comes. Depending on the dealer, you may be able to pay partially or fully with cash and get a slight discount. But most dealers will require a check. When you decide on a model, see if the dealer would allow you to bring the truck to a local garage at your own expense and have an inspection done. This is especially important if you're not sure what common problems to look for before buying.
There's no engine. It just has a drawing of an engine.
But it only had one previous owner. James Bond. I'll take it.
Number 2, food truck builders. If you look online, you'll see there are companies that either purchase used food trucks and clean them up, or they buy used trucks and do some general outfitting of equipment. The food truck builder you're working with may even have a few trucks for sale. Purchasing one of these pre-built trucks may be worth it if you find one that is within your budget and has most of the equipment that you need, because the build out itself can take a few months. Be prepared to pay a premium for pre-built trucks though. Number 3, delivery companies. Call your local UPS, FedEx, DHL, USPS center and see if there's a department you can speak to about purchasing an old delivery truck that's no longer in use. A lot of these decommissioned trucks will go to an auction, and if you're lucky, you could snag a truck that's been lightly used for very cheap. Number 4, classifieds. A truck owner may want to sell his own truck and post it on Craigslist, Facebook, local paper, or whatever. This is definitely the riskiest option because the owner will 99% want to do an all-cash deal. And anytime something involves only cash, there's always a chance that something goes wrong. Look into your state's laws to see if you would inherit any outstanding fines or penalties placed on the truck if you were to purchase it. Ask to do a check of the VIN, which is the vehicle identification number. Ask the owner for the truck's purchase documents. If the truck is still in operation, see if you can join the truck service for a day or two to make sure the truck runs smoothly. Try your best to get the owner to agree to a full inspection before any money changes hands. If everything checks out and the deal will be done in cash, it may sound ridiculous, but I do the deal literally in front of a police station. Never agree to do it at a private location. You never know what may happen.
Don't panic, Room. I'm not going to William hurt you. I only want your tango and cash. So just pay it forward and we'll all be Happy Gilmore. What?
Whichever method you choose, always get an invoice or receipt, especially if you pay with cash. If you don't, you won't be able to expense it later during tax season. Even if it's a personal sale, ask the seller to fill out a simple cash receipt. There are plenty of templates you can find online, or you can use the free template in the resources section. Finally, I know this is cliche, but if it sounds too good to be true, it probably definitely is. Don't be naive. Someone trying to sell the truck will promise you the world if it means you'll take it off their hands. So as I mentioned, most food trucks are used Zep vans which have been converted. You can get a used one for around $15,000, or you can buy a new one for around $50,000. Please keep in mind that trucks can be financed. So this brings our total on the low end to $31,475 and $98,725 on the high end.